Dorian Hale had been called Mama's Boy for as long as he could remember. In the metallic corridors of the Terran Fleet Academy, it wasn't just a nickname. It was a taunt, a brand, a reminder that he came from a quiet research family instead of a lineage of soldiers. His mother, Dr. Alara Hale, had raised him on stories of constellations, quantum storms, and the ancient myths woven into the fabric of the cosmos. The cadets mocked him for it. But she always told him, "The universe remembers its children, Dorian, especially the ones who listen." He never knew how literal that would become. The crash. The mission was supposed to be routine, a simple charting run to the unclassified star system Delta 17. But a rupture in the ship's quantum stabilizer sent their cruiser spiraling. Dorian had sealed himself into an escape pod moments before the core destabilized. When he woke, gravity felt different, heavier, older. His pod lay cracked open on a bed of violet sand. The sky above him shimmered with twin suns, one gold and one pale blue. Dorian's suit scanner flashed unstable readings. Oxygen levels were fluctuating but breathable. Flora unknown. Fauna unregistered. Everything glowed faintly, as though the entire planet radiated memory. He was alone, or so he thought. The tribe of the Veleri. They emerged from the mist like living echoes, tall, slender figures with obsidian skin that reflected constellations across their bodies. Their eyes, luminous and iridescent, held the calmness of beings who had seen centuries unfold. They wore garments woven from shimmering threads that moved like liquid starlight. Dorian staggered back, but their leader stepped forward with a grace that quieted the air. "Istarin Halthera," the figure intoned. The words vibrated through Dorian's bones, but his translator chip hummed in response, rendering the phrase into Terran standard. "Welcome home, Starborn." "Home?" Dorian froze. I think you're mistaken." The leader studied him with an intensity both unsettling and gentle. "We have waited for your return for over 1,000 circlings. The one who bears the mark of the Hale lineage, the listener." Dorian's heart hammered. His mother's stories. Were they more than stories? The archive of bones. They carried him to their settlement perched atop a canyon of crystal stone. The structures were grown, not built. Curved pillars of bioluminescent material that breathed faintly with life. The Veleri moved with synchronized fluidity, as if each step echoed through time. Inside their central temple, the walls were lined with skeletal remains, not of beings, but of extinct star creatures, leviathans that once swam through nebulae, bird-like shapes rumored to migrate between dimensions. Their bones hummed with dormant energy. The leader, who introduced herself as Sereth, placed a hand over Dorian's chest. "You carry the echo of our ancient ally," she said softly. "The Hale bloodline, the last of the star listeners." "My mother never mentioned anything like this," Dorian whispered. "Because she believed it myth," Sereth replied. "Yet myths are simply truths waiting for their return." The prophecy of the listener. Sereth guided him to a pedestal where a swirling orb hovered, projecting holographic constellations. "This world, Valar, does not exist in your maps because it chooses when to be found," she explained. "We Velari were guardians of the Echo Gate, the gateway between the visible universe and its reflections." "And what does that have to do with me?" Sereth's gaze softened. "There was a prophecy. When the gate dims and the sky grows silent, the child of echo and light shall return. The listener who bridges worlds." Dorian shook his head. "I'm just a cadet with a broken ship." "You are more," she replied. "You are the last of those who can hear the voice of the universe." She pressed a crystalline shard into his palm. It pulsed warm, familiar somehow. "This belonged to your mother. She visited us long before you were born." Dorian's breath collapsed in his chest. His mother had been here? Why hadn't she ever told him? The rising darkness. That night, the ground trembled with a sound like a dying star. The tribe gathered at the cliffs, watching a storm build at the horizon, black, spiraling, crackling with antimatter. Sereth's expression darkened. "The Voidborn," she said. They have awakened. They seek the gate, and the listener. And you expect me to stop them? Dorian asked incredulously. You are the only one who can, Sareth replied. Your mother held them at bay for decades, but her absence awakened their hunger. Dorian felt as though the planet itself exhaled around him. Mama's boy, a nickname he had despised. Yet now, everything he was, everything he had mocked, came from her. Maybe she had been preparing him all along. The listener awakened Sareth led him to the canyon's edge, where the air vibrated with haunting harmonics. The crystal shard in his hand resonated, aligning with unseen frequencies. Listen, she whispered. He closed his eyes. The wind hummed. The bones in the temple stirred. The stars above thrummed like plucked strings, and beneath it all, a whisper. Soft, clear, unmistakably familiar. Dorian. His knees weakened. Mom? The voice of Alara Hale emerged like an echo from eternity. If you're hearing this, my son, the gate has chosen you. Do not fear the void. Listen, the universe sings to you as it once sang to me. Tears blurred his vision. Sareth stepped closer. You hear her, he nodded. Then the storm exploded across the sky, the battle at the Echo Gate. Creatures of shadow, fluid, shifting, monstrous, poured from the dark vortex. The Velari armed themselves with staffs of light. Sareth thrust one into Dorian's hands. You channel the frequency. The weapon obeys the listener. Dorian raised the staff. The crystal shard merged into it, igniting like a newborn star. The Voidborn lunged. He swung the staff, and the air itself rippled. Energy blasted outward, dissolving the creatures into bursts of stardust. The Velari formed a circle around him, fighting in harmonic rhythm. For the first time, Dorian felt the truth of who he was. Not a boy clinging to his mother's legacy, but the heir to a cosmic lineage. The listener. With a final surge, he drove the staff into the ground. Light erupted, tearing through the storm. The vortex collapsed, shrieking as it imploded. Silence returned, and the universe exhaled. A new name. The tribe knelt. Even Sareth bowed. Valar is safe because of you, she said. You are no longer the lost listener, you are the returned one. Dorian looked up at the twin suns rising. All his life he had been called Mama's boy, out of mockery. Now he understood the truth. He was his mother's son, and that meant he was chosen. The universe had been waiting for him,